The R8 is without doubt one of the best budget full-frame cameras currently available. And even though it may be very close to being that perfect affordable camera that we're all looking for, but it does have 5 major weaknesses that I think you should know about. But the good news is that I found fixes to each of the shortcomings, and I'll be sharing those with you in this video. The first flaw may surprise you, as it's one of the selling points of this camera, and that's the fact that the image coming off of this sensor is downsampled from 6K. Now don't get me wrong, because having an image that's this sharp is perfect for certain situations like sports videography. But for general purpose filmmaking, oftentimes it's too sharp and lends itself towards that digital look that Sony cameras have been known for. So if you're like me and you prefer a more organic and filmic look, there's a few things you could do. The simplest thing would be to add a black mist filter to help knock down that digital sharpness. You could also grab a vintage lens like the Helios 44M, because they have certain optical imperfections that give the footage character, which is hard to get from many of the clinically sharp modern lenses. The only issue with vintage lenses is that they lack autofocus, which can be a deal breaker. So black mist filter is the way to go for most people. The next issue that we have to consider with the Canon R8 is the horrible battery life. When shooting video, you get a little over an hour before the battery dies. You could grab a few extra batteries and swap them out every hour or so, but this becomes a problem if you want to shoot an interview or any other situation where you need a long, uninterrupted take. And it just so happens to turn out that the bottom of the R8 is identical to the old school Canon RP, which is awesome because the battery grip for the RP also fits the R8. This allows you to use 2 batteries at the same time, giving you double the runtime. There's a third-party battery grip which works very well and costs only about $60, which I'll link to in the description. Grab that and a few extra batteries and you're good to go. The next problem with this camera and every other RF mount camera is the lack of affordable, high-quality lenses. That problem has only been intensified with Canon limiting third-party lens manufacturers from making lenses for the RF mount, which is why I recommend adapting Canon EF lenses instead of using RF lenses. My favorite adapter for RF mount cameras is this drop-in ND filter system from Mica. In my opinion, this is the most useful accessory currently available for RF mount cameras. It allows you to use EF and EFS lenses while providing you with a drop-in ND filter, as well as an optional black mist and CPL filter. This gives you so many choices in quality lenses. In particular, there are 3 lenses that offer extremely high quality at an affordable price. The first one is the Tamron 15-30 f2.8. This is perfect for vlogging, real estate, and wide landscapes. It has image stabilization built into the lens and is less than half the price of the Canon 15-35, while giving you very similar quality. The next lens is the Tamron 24-70 f2.8, which also has built-in image stabilization. It's the perfect B-roll lens for filmmaking because 90% of your shots are going to fall within that 24-70 range, and the wide f2.8 aperture will give you great low-light performance, as well as that nice blurry background. Now, if you're more of a long-range shooter and need a telephoto zoom lens for things like sports and wildlife, the Tamron 70-200mm would be an awesome and affordable option. Even if Canon were to make similarly priced RF glass, personally, I still go with the EF lenses because the adapter is giving you built-in ND filters, which isn't possible with mirrorless RF lenses. If you're not familiar with what an ND filter does, it basically allows you to shoot with a wide aperture outdoors without blowing out your highlights. This will allow you a bit more flexibility while color grading and adding LUTs. And if you're not familiar with what a LUT is, it stands for lookup table. Think of it as a plugin you can add to your footage or photos that'll give you an automatic color grade. So if you want to get that beautiful cinematic look without spending hours color grading, you can download my Filmic LUT pack for only $15 on my website. It includes the LUT that I've been using in this video called Teal and Orange Juice, along with many other cinematic LUTs and Lightroom profiles. And the last thing I want to tell you about is called the Canon EOS Remote app. You can use it to start and stop recording, change all your settings, and frame up your shots without having to get up and go behind the camera. It's also great for photos because you no longer have to use the timer and rush to get in front of the camera before the shot is taken. And it's a free app, but I'd be willing to pay for it considering how useful it is. Now keep in mind that all of the tips that I gave you so far should go a long way in helping you get amazing photos and cinematic footage. But no doubt, the most important factor is going to be your lighting. And that's why I highly recommend that you watch this video next, where I teach you exactly how I do my lighting. I left links in the description below to the mica and D adapter, as well as all the lenses that I talked about earlier. I appreciate you watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. It's Fulan Creative, and I'm out. Peace.